Hello, everyone, and welcome to this fine edition of TYTSports. A number of updates. Number one, I have this device right here. My former roommate got it for me. Cost $5. Great buy. Number two, the Jufro will be gone by 3 o'clock today. Congratulations to me. Number three, Drew Carter is here. So Drew Carter getting started early.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we go.
Flip cup anyway?
You're on. Darren Sproles has been traded by the New Orleans Saints for a 5th-round draft pick. Odd, yes, but he did find out on the tweeter that he was going to be traded. A little surprising. I guess this is the new age way of finding out that the team is totally going to fuck you over and trade you. He had some really solid years. I always liked him in fantasy football means, but as a team, he's not irreplaceable. I wouldn't say that. But the new age of the not younger, but undersized, smaller running backs that are very elusive. I see LaMichael James becoming a Darren Sproles. Danny Woodhead is the new age Darren Sproles for the Chargers. Yeah. Yes, he is. He had a great year this year for the Chargers.
He doesn't return punts or kickoffs.
He does not, but in an offensive scheme, punts and kicks aside, I'll give you that. But in an offensive scheme, he certainly does match up in a similar way and has a similar style as Darren Sproles. So when you heard that they traded him for a 5th-round pick to Philadelphia, by the way, didn't even throw that in, a 5th-round pick, when he is valued, I would say, as at least a 3rd-rounder, and he wanted to get cut, firstly, and then I'll get into your take. He wanted to get cut so he could pick which team he wanted to go to. The team said, no, not happening on our watch. So what do you think? Philadelphia getting him, New Orleans losing him?
Great win by Philly. Mm-hmm. I think he's still in a prime of his career. I don't think he's on the backside. With Philly's offense, he's gonna fit right in. I mean, him, McCoy, all the guys. Like it's just gonna be nasty to see what Chip can put together.
Aside from Matt Forte, now that's another good point that they have Chip Kelly, who will absolutely utilize the crap out of Darren Sproles in that offense. A good offense too with Nick Foles. We'll get to Michael Vick in a moment, actually, with him possibly going to the Vikings. But here's my one thing. Yeah, you have now, aside from Matt Forte, you could say arguably the 2 best pass-catching running backs in the NFL on the same team. So from like an X's and O's standpoint, how do you utilize them?
Usually utilize the shit out of them. You figure out every scheme, every mismatch. I mean, running backs on linebackers, those 2 running backs on linebackers all day. You know, it's almost basically like a tight end on a safety, like how like Graham or like, Gronk would be on it. It's just a mismatch. You have to expose them totally, and linebackers can't cover those little speedy guys. So
Sure. No, a very fair point. You asked, or basically made the point about him somewhat declining, maybe declining. This last year, he had 220 rushing yards, 71 receptions for 604 yards, 4 touchdowns. In 2011, he had the record for all-purpose yards in one season with 2,696. So, yeah, I'd say he's declining a little bit, but it seems like maybe this will rejuvenate his career. Sure. Plus, the Saints are keeping Pierre Thomas. They have a ton of weapons. Whenever you have Sean Payton, you're going to have a ton of weapons. The one thing that I found out, basically, is that the Eagles have a horrible defense. They were ranked 29th overall last year. They're probably going to cut Bryce Brown as from a running back perspective. But why wouldn't they go after some guy in the free agent market to improve the defense at all?
Because I think that's Chip Kelly and his offensive mind. He's like,
yeah, but you got to have 2 sides of the ball that are good.
Oh, for sure. But he's offensive minded coach. He's like, I want to, he's going to try to figure out any way to put up the most points.
Sure.
And I mean, I think they're going to pick up some more defensive guys, and I don't know about any notable guys. There's so many great notable defensive free agents out there, but I don't know if they're willing. A lot of them are older too. That's the big thing I saw with a lot of older. There's not a lot of the young free agent, like prime career defensive guys. A lot of guys are over, like Peppers, Ware
to the Broncos,
Revis. Like a lot of guys are like all pros, but they're almost in the backside.
But they're in the upper 20s, low 30s.
And you still got to pay them this crazy money.
Fair point.
So I think they're going to pick up some mid-level guys that probably are actually better than what people think, and then all of a sudden they change teams and rejuvenate their career, kind of like Sproles is going to do.
Well, the Broncos are probably going to have to get rid of a few players because of these big contracts that they just took on. So maybe you can go and get a former Bronco and maybe reinvigorate that defense. You think they go to the playoffs again this year?
Broncos?
The Eagles.
Oh, Eagles.
I mean, Broncos, shoot.
Yeah.
Eagles.
Yes. I think they figure it out. I think they, second year coach.
Sure.
Figure it out. Defense definitely needs to fix. But I mean, we didn't even mention Deshaun Jackson.
Right.
You got Sproles, DeSean Jackson.
He had a great
Shady,
year last year.
Shady, just I mean, if what's Macklin comes
Jeremy
back.
Macklin?
He comes
He
back.
could stay healthy.
He's healthy. He's
Sure.
a solid. I think he's still there. But yeah, I don't see why they couldn't.
Lastly,
Especially the division. It's not like the Giants were shitty.
right.
The Cowboys were shitty.
Cowboys aren't great.
The Redskins were definitely shitty.
And they lost to Marcus Ware.
So I don't see why
okay,
not.
last point. Michael Vick, where do you think he goes?
I heard that
AP was vying for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got a couple more years in him. I mean, he only
I would
played
think so.
6 games this year, and he wasn't like
Because he had a terrible offensive line. I will take that
he
point.
played 6 games. I hurt his hamstring or something, and then Foles came on.
Concussions and whatnot. Yeah.
And so his body's not, I don't think, too banged up from last season.
He's only played one full season one time.
Yeah, that's the only downfall for him. But there's a lot of upside with him.
What do you make Minnesota a playoff team? With the Bears and the Lions and the Packers? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No. All right, so where do you guys think he will go? What do you think about the move? Leave a thought in the comments.
Obviously should go somewhere unless he just wants to stay back up for another couple years and just collect checks.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's way too talented to be a backup like a...
And I think they're paying him way too much to be a backup. So
What's
he's
it?
gonna have to
What?
go somewhere.